me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? Welcome to our very first live session of the Wind Down with the Eavesdrop. We are here with the lovely Caroline, the lovely Alexis, and the lovely Nalita, and I am Shalonna. We want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and hanging with us tonight. We hope that you brought your wine and are ready for some happy hour and conversation. So I want to know who is rocking tonight with us. So if you are here on our live today, please drop a post in the comments and let us know where you are from. Rep your city.
Well, I'll drink to that.
That countdown song was a bop.
Wasn't it? Girl, I feel like playing it again. So, yes. So we don't have anybody repping where they're from right now, but we're going to move on to the next parts. So the next part of the show, well, basically this is the meet and greet session. And during the meet and greet session, we just kind of talk about things that have happened in the media or things that kind of happened with us while we were apart. Because, you know, we do the wind down once a month. So, but before we get into that, I do want to do a little housekeeping first. So I just want to remind everybody that this is a safe space where we will appreciate and respect everyone's opinion. Sometimes even on this show, if you guys are regulars, you'll know that sometimes even we disagree, but we agree to disagree. And so we will aim to showcase everyone's perspective tonight. So definitely let's just respect everyone's opinion. Another thing, I will be controlling production and participating at the same time. So please be patient with us. Please be patient with me. And lastly, if you haven't picked up your Healthy InspHERations ticket, do so today. So Healthy InspHERations is a live virtual women's health conference that was developed to address common questions and concerns that women have about their health. And during this conference, we will address a lot of common different concerns like uterine fibroids, endometriosis, menopause, the COVID-19 vaccine, and pregnancy. You know, a lot of women now have a lot of concerns about the vaccine and how it will affect their fertility and should pregnant women get it. And we have a lot of answers that we didn't have before now. So during this conference, we will definitely be talking about that. Sex and relationships is also a big conversational piece. So we'll definitely be talking about that. And guess what? Even though it's virtual, we will still have food and swag bags. So definitely visit the website, healthyinspirations.com, for more information. The information for the website and how you can purchase tickets will be in the show notes. So, ladies, the other day I saw a post and I actually shared it in the group, and it was a post that I got from Therapy for Black Girls. And the post said, which book, which song, or poem or piece of art has been most instrumental in shaping your identity as a Black woman? So as an icebreaker, I want to remix the question a bit and ask, which book, which song, which poem, or piece of art has been most instrumental in shaping your identity as a Black woman? And which of them is the best description of your altered ego?
Ooh.
Very good.
I'm gonna drink to that too.
Yes.
Started early, Caroline.
Listen, I think a book that describes me best is The Awkward Black Girl by Issa Rae.
Mm-hmm.
Because first of all, that book is absolutely hilarious, and I don't
Yes, it
usually
is.
laugh out loud when I'm reading something, but I was cackling so hard when I was reading her book. And I felt so connected to just how awkward she is in different settings, but I love how she embraces that. And I love how that became part of her identity. And because of that book, I feel a lot more confident in my own awkwardness in so many different scenarios, even today at work. But that's definitely a book that resonates with me a lot. But for my alter ego, I would have to say Partition by Beyonce, because whew, somebody go get my husband. Where's Jay? Like, that whole song is just a vibe. And from the beat dropping just down to her describing, being in the back of the car with the driver trying to eavesdrop and listen to what's going on. Everything about it is a whole mood, and I love it.
Yeah. Roll up the partition, please.
I don't need you singing out to all her knees.
So when I think, first of all, I got the assignment wrong, so you can tab me on that. I thought it was specifically for songs. So the song that describes me as a Black woman would probably have to be "I Like That" by Janelle Monáe. When I think about how she talks about sometimes it's a mystery, sometimes she's free. It depends on the mood or the attitude. I mean, it totally kind of envisions me day by day. And then I had two competing songs I couldn't decide on for alter ego. One is deeply rooted in my childhood, from a maid in Manhattan. And like her, as a mom, when the occasion arises, I like to get dressed up and turn heads. I do it to Diana Ross's "I'm Coming Out." That instrumental build up, honey, helps me to feel the confidence. So I like to borrow that from our friends and with the anthem. And then another solid song that I also connect with is "Lemonade" by Nerd and Rihanna. I can't dance worth a lick, but I tell you, when that song come on, honey, I be floating in the club like she hit those moves immaculately.
So I guess
Alexis?
I'll go next. And the book that I would have to say that inspired me the most was Iyanla Vanzant, Pieces, either from a broken heart
from Broken
or
Pieces.
putting the pieces back
on Broken
together.
Pieces. Yeah.
So she used these narratives to tell her story about how she got her life together and just addressing like real life issues and emotional traumas. And that book really just resonated with me on so many different levels. And I felt like I've grown through different things based off of reading the book. As far as the songs, I don't know. I have a few songs that I really, really, really like. But I don't know if it speaks to me as, a Black woman. But Jasmine Sullivan, the whole
yeah.
Which one?
Like,
the Hotels album.
I mean, I was thinking about my 20s, early 30s. So I think I'm just gonna go with the whole album, y'all.
That's okay, sis.
I support that.
That is okay. Yep. So I guess a poem was also included in there. So I chose Maya Angelou's poem, Phenomenal Woman. That's me. It's one of my favorite poems because I think it's a great illustration of how I personally have evolved into a woman who is confident and accepting of all of my flaws. It really hasn't really been that way always. Because like most women, I believe that I struggled with self-esteem issues coming up, and, reading her poem and reading her poems and listening to songs that promote like self-esteem and self-worth have kind of been like a safe haven for me. So, I really love that poem, and it actually definitely kind of illustrates, who I am today. Now, my alter ego, as much as I'm sipping this wine tonight, it should be I got my drink in my two-step. But girl, I was just trying to calm my little nerves. But I think my alter ego would be the hip-hop song Nuck If You Buck. And and I'm saying this because my friends have given me a nickname for my alter ego, and it's called Quita. Because a lot of you guys know, because you're really close to me, I could be as sweet as pie, but catch me on the wrong day, the wrong time, and if you push me to the edge, I can really surprise y'all. So I think Nuck If You Buck would be my altered ego. So if you're out there listening to the show, I just want to invite you to kind of drop a post in the comments just to let us know that you are out there listening and enjoying this time with us. And you can comment a post on what your favorite song is that has kind of shaped your identity of who you are, and which of them is the best description of your altered ego. That's what we were just discussing. Hi, Janessa. Hey, hello.
Hey, that's my
bestie. Awesome. So moving on. Now, so I want to touch base on Aaliyah. So I was listening to a podcast, and I learned that Aaliyah's estate and the powers that be have finally come to an agreement, and now her music will finally be streamed. Okay. So if you go on Spotify, if you go on Tidal, what are the other streaming, Apple, Google Play, all those places, you will find her songs. And I'm super excited because Aaliyah I was the biggest, probably one of her biggest fans. And meanwhile, Kanye is having about 50-11 listening parties for Donda. So somebody tell me, when will his album be released? Because I'm waiting for that too. I'm very excited about that. So before we move on, what is your favorite Aaliyah song? What would you be most excited to listen to or stream?
I was just finna sing it, Lex. I sing that thing out loud on the train, on the bus. I'm excited about what picture 1 in a million, but definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like Are You That Somebody did not get the hype it deserved, because the way my 10-year-old self used to break down in the living room and follow along with that whole dance routine, that's the one that I'm checking for. But also Rock the Boat, because that was about to slow wine on my husband on a boat somewhere.
Right.
And Janessa said 1 in a million.
Yeah, 1 in a million was a good song. I remember trying to do that dance, the routine in 1 in a million. But there's a song, I can't remember the name of it, that's one of my favorites. It's supposed to be my favorite, but I can't remember the name of it. But it goes, more than a woman, more than a That's one of my favorites.
And she said, rock the boat. Janessa says, rock the boat as well. And I remember definitely trying to do that choreography.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So right now, I think the albums that are on there, like they don't have all her collection, all her hits, but they have One in a Million, At Your Best, and Aaliyah Essentials, which is like a collection of her hits. So that is definitely streaming now on all your streaming platforms. So definitely go check out our girl Aaliyah and hold tight for Kanye West and Donda being released.
So, okay, are we ready to embrace Kanye again? Because this is still Trump loving Kanye. I'm running for president, Kanye.
Yeah.
I'm charging you $50 for 5 chicken tenders, Kanye.
Thank you.
Is why did he post Drake's address on social media? Like,
he did that?
Yes, he posted that man.
Oh my God.
Location.
So I think Kanye and Drake, or Drake and Pusha T, are beefing again. And I think that's where all of that started. Drake don't want that smoke with Kanye because Kanye ain't got nothing to lose anymore.
Drake had a lot of comments like, listen, you washed up.
Drake want to talk?
I mean, but the thing is, I really love Drake though, Caroline, and I'm behind because I don't listen to the radio. I listen to Alexa, and Alexa plays whatever I want to hear. And when I say Alexa play Drake, that thing run, and I'm jamming. So I don't know. I can't say the same for Kanye. I've never said, Alexa, play Kanye.
What?
Yeah. So I guess the question is Kanye or Drake?
Kanye.
If you had to choose on top, Kanye or Drake?
100%. Kanye will run circles.
To get rid of one?
So Caroline, you say Kanye would run circles around Drake?
Kanye, college dropout, late registration Kanye. Oh, look, I'm about to act like Soldier Boy. Drake.
Look, Caroline,
Drake.
Kanye right now. Kanye crazy.
He is crazy, but his albums have,
still been fire
already. So
that should tell you that even though he's done all of this stuff, this odd stuff that he's done, people are still waiting for Donda. So that should just tell you something that he's probably one of the greatest. He just need to get his act together. But I want to ask the people out there who are listening along, Drake or Kanye, what do you think?
Like, if this was a versus battle, like song for song, Drake over Kanye?
I don't know about that.
Well, while y'all thinking about it, so Alexis, so I'm going to direct this question to you. So Cuomo is no longer New York's governor. And as a true New Yorker you are, which I would tell anybody that I meet that say they from New York, no, y'all ain't from New York. My best friend is from New York. That's a true New Yorker right there. So because you're a true New Yorker, I have to ask your opinion on the whole issue. Like, how do you feel about what has happened to the governor?
Well, I feel like there's a ripple effect by the whole situation, and with him resigning, the woman that is replacing him or that has replaced him, she finally made a statement yesterday, and what she made, I wasn't satisfied with it. Like, you have a lot of work. So while you were, expecting him to resign, I feel like you should have been planning. So that way you could really speak to the issues that New Yorkers are facing. We went from pandemic frenzy to him giving us structure to us finally having a bit of freedom to go out and enjoy ourselves, especially right in time for spring and summer. Because if you don't know, New York is popping during the warmer months. And now that we're kind of going back to like enforcing pandemic rules, we're wearing masks and shutting down and vaccination. It's just too much. It's too much. And in reference to, you know, these women coming out and stating he hugged me, he kissed me on the cheek, boo, not on the lips, but on the cheek. And I mean, here, a lot of Spanish people and other ethnicities, they do the kisses on the cheek. And we all know Governor Cuomo has Italian descent. They do that too. So I feel like there's some type of underlying scandal behind these women coming out and saying these atrocious things that Governor Cuomo has done.
Yeah.
I don't think that somebody as strategic as Governor Cuomo would really put himself in a situation during the pandemic to do these things. And the fact that they snatched his Emmy, I was going to put that in a group chat, but I forgot. I was busy still celebrating my birthday. But they snatched his Emmy and for his book that he wrote. And I was like, whoa, we taking this too far to snatch this man Emmy back.
Wow.
So I hope that you know? So I hope that once the smoke clears from all of this, there'll be some type of, I don't know, another type of handling of the entire situation. Because I don't believe that is completely true.
Yeah. Yeah. So how are you? Yeah, I was going to ask those who are listening, you know, what are some of your thoughts? How do you feel about this, the whole Cuomo situation? For those of you who may not know what's going on in New York, the governor was accused of sexual harassment through some of the female employees who he used to work with. And, you know, they got legal action involved. And so now he has decided to step down from his position. But the accusations were, like Alexis said, he kissed me on the cheek. He gave me a hug, which Cuomo did admit to these allegations. He did admit that, but he did say that it's a part of his cultural background. You know, these are things that he do on a normal. And as he was, you know, talking about the things that he does, they were showing images of him doing it not just with women, but with men, with everybody who he came in contact with. So I guess the question is, like, how is everyone feeling? You know, did he deserve to step down? You know, what is your take on it? So you can leave your comments, and as we go on, we'll kind of address them. But ladies, what do you feel?
Look, Georgia got enough drama going on in our own governor's mansion. So I can't speak on Nathan going on nowhere else. Janessa said, I think grace should be extended to him. And I think she's absolutely right, because from what I understand, he was not, he wasn't accused of rape. He was accused of inappropriate touching. And if we can put that y'all president in office for 4 years for grabbing somebody by the vagina and bragging about it and laughing about it, leave this man alone. Leave him alone. I feel like this was an excuse for someone else who had a different agenda just to get him out of office. But I'm glad he got out before he got impeached, because I would love to see him back in office. I mean, just from the outside looking in, he's done a lot of good work in New York. So,
yeah.
And I want to say to that effect, what were you going to say, Alexis?
I was going to say, we do have to remember that he was promoted on a national platform for the work that he did during the pandemic to help other states for themselves. So I don't know. His work needs to speak for him.
Itself, yeah. I just wanted to stand and say just that, and many times when people come from different backgrounds or cultures to the USA, we expect them to assimilate into our way of doing things. America likes to say that it's built on inclusivity and it delights in upholding others' traditions and recognizing those traditions that differ from our own. But we know that that's a lie. The only thing I have to say really about the situation is that sometimes I know that you can find yourself in a situation where you are out of your depth. In this day and age, I would hope that you are more comfortable at least finding someone that you can confide in if someone in authority is abusing their position. This does not appear to be the case. But so
yeah. And Janessa said, can someone impeach the Tennessee governor? Girl, can somebody come and impeach the Florida governor? Don't want these babies to wear masks to school.
Look, we can get Bailey. We can round him up. We can go and get Abbott from down over in Texas. We can round him up too. We can get them all out of here.
So in COVID news, going on to something that is concerning other governors, unless you guys have anything else to say about Cuomo. I was just going to say on Monday, the FDA finally approved the first COVID-19 vaccination. It's the Pfizer vaccine for those ages 16 and older. So at this point, since it's approved, what's the excuse now for not getting your vaccination?
My body, my choice.
I mean, I would like to just point out that yesterday, the HR team for my organization decided that people will make the choice. They will be vaccinated by September 13th or they will quit. And so many organizations and companies have decided to follow the same rule because it's like coming down from the pipe just to try to make everyone take the vaccine. I have a question for you guys. Do you make the choice to get the vaccine and keep your job, whether it's a raggedy job or the job, okay? Or do you leave the job altogether not knowing what's next, what to do?
I feel like that's something that's coming in each place because, like you said, your place of employment is requiring that. In my job, they're doing this 90-day, 90 percentile incentive plan where if everyone's 90% of us are vaccinated in 90 days, we'll get a bonus. Also, the upper management were required to get their vaccinations, at least have both doses by the end of August or something. And they're not hiring anyone else that is not vaccinated, at least having your first dose. So when you say that, you might leave that job, go to another job, and you can't get your foot in the door because they're requiring you to be vaccinated. So,
yeah. I mean, it's going to happen at some point where it's going to be mandated everywhere. So, and I don't understand why. This is what privilege looks like, y'all. When you look at other countries that don't have this vaccine, that will kill to get vaccinated. Like when you look over in India, like what was going on over there, people were dying left and right, and the lines were long as ever to get this vaccine. And you right here in America, where the vaccine is at your fingertips, and you want to protest about getting it, and all upset about wearing a mask. I don't understand it. And for the life of me, I cannot understand why people don't trust the vaccine, but y'all trust these unstable crates y'all walking on.
Hello.
I don't get that.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I just don't understand.
In Arkansas, no ICU beds, honey. So
I'm telling
you fall and bust your cranium. I don't know how you're gonna get it put back together.
Okay, he's on hospital beds. I'm just saying. For real.
But I mean, it just speaks to the like you said, privilege and the selfish nature of people, because I have come across so many people who were like so adamant against getting the vaccination. You know what made them get the vaccination? They wanted to travel. they got it so that they can travel, but they won't get it to save their neighbor's life, like your life, your neighbor's life, your family's life. Like that is such a privileged standpoint to come from.
Yeah. But serious tip, if you haven't gotten a vaccine, definitely consider it. Do your research, make sure you know all there is to know about the vaccine before you get it. Talk to your doctors if you have to. There's a lot more information out there about this vaccine now, and we have a better understanding about the vaccine and the virus itself. So, you definitely want to collaborate with your providers and, make a decision from an educated standpoint, make an educated decision, and one that is best for you and your family. But people are still dying from this thing. I know that in certain states it's wide open. No one has to wear masks. And so I think we're under the impression, or there's an illusion that this virus is gone, but it's really not. I know someone personally who just died from it. So definitely, just get vaccinated, do your research about it, so that way you can remain safe. Yeah. And I'll share the reason why. The reason why I got vaccinated. Yeah. And I will be transparent and say that when this vaccine first came out, even as a healthcare provider, I was like, I don't know, because it was so politically driven, but I felt like I was more at risk of getting COVID than I was of something happening to me from this vaccine. Being around people every single day, not knowing who has it. That person may not know that they have it because people are still walking around here asymptomatic. It's just a scary situation. And once I got the vaccine, once I got both of them, it was just like a feeling of relief. Like, okay, I have some shield of protection over me. I felt okay to walk around. I felt okay to go to work. So, again, definitely do your research and get in there and get vaccinated and encourage your family members to do the same thing.
One tidbit I wanted to leave you on is because I've heard a lot of governors of recently saying, don't worry about COVID. Don't worry about getting the vaccination. Get COVID and just go ahead and take the antibodies for it because that's going to help you. But one thing, when people are pushing for something so hard, as in steering you away from the vaccination that's now approved and telling you to go ahead and get COVID and take these antibodies, a lot of times they have an agenda behind it, and just coming to find out that some of them have shares in the company that's paying for these monoclonal antibodies. So they don't care about you. They care about making that bill because it is expensive. But if and the government right now is paying for it. But if everyone has to use these antibodies, just think about how much richer we're making this person because we chose to do something kind of in reverse. Get vaccinated and make an informed decision, like Shalonna was saying.
Yeah. Yep. And Janessa said, I didn't trust it at first, but because of my profession and existing condition, I prayed on it and got it. I know. And I think everyone should take the same approach.
Same. Yeah. I was nervous. I was the first one to say, if Trump is still in office, I ain't get this vaccine because I don't trust nothing. Not a thing coming out of that administration. I don't trust it. But, when I stopped listening to politicians and started listening to scientists, it made sense for me to get it. And I don't regret it. I will get a booster if my doctor says that I'm eligible for it. Or if my, primary doctor feels that I need to get a booster, I'll get it. I'll be the first one in line to get it because I follow science. I don't follow politicians. And I encourage a lot of you who are out here listening to your high school friends on Facebook who can barely keep a job at McDonald's telling you what to do with your body and how to manage this crisis. So that's my rant.
Okay, now. Okay. So, in other news, do you all remember Hadiya Broadbent? How many people remember her? If you remember her, just say yes in the comments. So for those of you who don't remember who she is known for being one of the youngest kids born with HIV back in the early 90s. And she was on, I first saw her on Maury, and I think she was on Oprah. And she was basically born with HIV back then. And she was born during a time, like in the early 90s, where we didn't really understand HIV and the treatments were not really developed at that time. So HIV was kind of like a death sentence.
Yes.
And she was adopted at 6 weeks, and then they found out she had it at the age of 3. And so the doctors, or according to her, the doctors said she wouldn't live past the age of 6 at that time. And now she's probably about our age or maybe a little older. And she has been an advocate for individuals with HIV and AIDS. And I actually follow her on Instagram. And she posted, well, the other day she posted a post that Lil Baby posted. And so basically it said Lil Baby has some explaining to do. And she didn't really go into detail about, you know, what he said or what he did. So of course I did my own research to figure out, you know, what the Lil Baby do this time. And during there was a big concert here in Miami, and he made a comment that said, quote, "Put your cell phone light up, except those of you who are HIV positive or were gay men who had sex in parked cars or car parks." Now, when he made this comment, or when I read this comment, I was outdone and very upset, because he has a really big platform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has a really big platform, and a lot of people who support him are probably of African American descent. And for those of you who don't know, you know, HIV and AIDS is something that plagues the African American community. And I think that when you have such a big platform, you have to use it in a positive way. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I just really think that he should have been, you know, more saying things to kind of push people or promote safe sex or push people to get tested, you know, use his platform in that way. But instead, he decided to, you know, just insult people who are living with the condition. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to say, or ask, like, how do you ladies feel about this? And what do you think should happen now?
Well, just for the record, we're talking about the baby, right? Not Lil Baby, but the baby.
Is it the baby?
One of them babies. There's baby,
one of them babies
Lil
said
Baby.
The baby.
The baby said it.
God, it's too many. Now, y'all need to come up with a different name now. So it was the baby.
Yeah, it was the baby.
The baby. Yeah.
I think that a lot of people say we shouldn't have cancel culture, but if we silence anybody, it should be him, because he is so problematic. Mm-hmm. And like you said, to have such a big platform, mm-hmm. like he is mm-hmm. the absolute worst, because not only did he say what he said, he doubled back on it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And tried to you know, defend what he said before he even tried an attempt to apologize. But you know, it's not the first time he did, you know, something suspect or sketch, because even when he was like at Rolling Loud, he brought out Tory. He performed right after Megan Thee Stallion, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And when he was performing, he brought out Tory Lanez, and y'all know Megan Thee Stallion dodging the public probably, but you know, Megan Thee Stallion accused Tory Lanez of being the one who shot her last mm-hmm. year in her foot. So you know, everybody was kind of giving the baby the side eye for, you know, bringing Tory Lanez out on stage right after Megan Thee Stallion performed. Like, for what? Like,
and how he collaborated with her, so he knew all the stuff that was going down. He was being messy.
Mm-hmm. He was being messy. But yeah, he, in his own world, is just so problematic to the culture. He does nothing to contribute, at least to my knowledge, nothing to contribute to the betterment of the culture except these, you know, bops of music. But, you know, I'm equally side-eyeing T.I., who stood behind the baby and what he said. And, you know, a couple other rappers who kind of stood with him, like Boosie, who was also very problematic to the culture.
Who also said some racially charged slurs toward Lil Nas X, so we can't even listen to Boosie.
Yeah, I love me to invite me down, but
I think, why do we have to be so culturally sensitive though? So people could speak their minds about, you know, so many different things, but they can't speak their minds about how they feel.
That's what T.I. was saying. T.I. was saying that, like, you know, someone like Lil Nas X can be openly expressive about, you know, his lifestyle and the way he chooses to live his life. And a lot of people embrace Lil Nas X for, you know, being authentic to his true self. But at the same time, we want to dismantle the baby for, you know, the things that he said at Rolling Loud, and he's getting dropped from endorsements and dropped from, you know, other music festivals. But I think the difference is you can be, you know, who you are. You can believe in what you want to believe in. And if a gay or alternative lifestyle is not your cup of tea, it doesn't have to be. But when you start to spew misinformation, or when you start to say things that are disrespectful or untrue about a certain community or a certain group of people, like, that's when it becomes problematic. Like, you could have gone on with your show just fine without saying something about, you know, people getting AIDS and dying 2 weeks later. One, that's not true. One, and two.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it also puts the ignorance on display of like who these celebrities or artists really are, right? So go ahead, speak your mind. We want to know you outside of the music.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So go ahead and tell us, baby, how you really feel about everybody, right? So
I get.
Go ahead and
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you in a way, Alexis, too. So that way people know whether or not they should support you or not. Should they still continue to buy your music? Because why am I buying your music? Why am I supporting you? Why am I paying hundreds and thousands of dollars for tickets to come see you perform and you feel this way about me? So be out in the open about it. I agree. And I also agree with you, Caroline, because I also think that they need to use their platform for a purpose. You know, you've been given this platform for a reason. So, you know, HIV is something that really plagues our community. And if you know that the majority of people who buy your music, who support you, who fund you, you know, you need to do something to kind of help, you know, resolve the problem. Don't be a part of the problem. Yeah.
My biggest issue with him was after this apology that felt kind of insincere, he went on to later release a statement that said, you ever give one of the best performances of the entire festival, but due to things being said during the performance being deemed insensitive, even though you're an entertainer and you're paid to entertain, like, no one was paying to come to hear you spout all this misinformation. Like, literally, that's not what we were paying for, sir, which I didn't pay anyway. But degrading comments should not be what you depend on to entertain your fans.
Right. Like, no one asked for this. Literally, no one. It's not a part of his song. It wasn't a part of music. Like, literally, no one was asking for this.
Let's ask you. That's the first thing. I mean, but I don't know. It's the backpedaling for me. It's like everyone who, you know, who has a publicist, they always like try to do damage control. No, come back and say, you know, this immediately following what you said that hurt somebody. We all know that you got somebody on your staff that's telling you what to say, baby. So I want to know the real you. Just like Kanye West opened up to us about his craziness. Okay, and look, people still in the hood buying his Yeezys.
Waiting on Donda. Waiting on Donda. If I check Spotify one more time and that album is not released,
you know when it's released, it's gonna hit the top of the news. So don't check Spotify for it. Just wait for some notification.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of,
go ahead.
Speaking of somebody who's given information that is sometimes not asked for. Do y'all remember watching this clip that was sent to us about Kevin Samuels and this relationship advice?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how do y'all feel about men who are self-appointed gurus offering relationship advice to women, basically on how to build a man?
Mm-hmm.
Can y'all just stop trying to give us advice?
Again, we did not ask for this.
that we did not ask you for. I mean, I think it's one thing if it's people from your past and you want to know like how they really feel about you or your antics, and you ask them. But these generic people, especially now, y'all don't want to get me started on Steve Harvey because.
Go ahead, sis.
I mean, first of all, and you know what? I just watched Kings of Comedy the other night, Shalonna, and I thought about you.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
But let me tell you how I miss him being that charismatic comedian that's able to just, capture the audience. But baby, this new person that he wants to be, I'm not feeling it. First of all, you left your first wife in front of all of us. The one who was living in the car with you when y'all was homeless, making it. You left her in front of everybody and went with Margaret. Now, we all know Margaret is beautiful, but Margaret is a hood bugger. Margaret was dating
a hood bugger.
That was
not a hood bugger.
Okay. And then come on, Margaret.
Where did you get that from, Alexis?
Wait,
it was. Girl, 2 family members. She was dating 2 family members while they was locked up selling. So yes, for her, it was an improvement to marry Steve Harvey. Okay, she finally found a man of substance.
Janessa said, "Hood booger, I'm using."
Oh my god.
I just can't. I can't.
So
hood booger, equally yoked. It's gonna go down in here. I'm just saying.
It's above me now.
Legit. But like, I think along the same lines of what Alexis Alexis was saying, like, I'm tired of the whole I'm a relationship guru, especially when you're profiting off of like the insecurities and the pain of Black women for the world's entertainment.
Yes.
And that's what really sets me off about Kevin Samuels. Honestly, to me, him and the baby are the same person, because Kevin Samuels really makes a living off of insulting Black women and just putting, like I said, their pain at the center of the world for their entertainment. And it's disgusting. Like, I think one time he told a woman that she's like the size of a running back or something, and was telling her that like she needs to lower her standards because of her size, and make sure that you're not trying to go after the same type of man that like a 5'5", brown eyes, slim waist kind of woman would go after. You need to lower your standards because you're too big to attract like a high performing man or something like that. And it's like, sir, you're no 10 out of 10 either. Number 8.
Ain't a good 1 out of 10 on a good day. Right?
Again, I mean, and I also
really
feel the women for looking for these men to give them some type of confirmation or validation or approval, however they see fit. But I just feel like it shouldn't come from a man. And it definitely shouldn't come from a man that you're not even attracted to, that you're not even interested in dating if they pursued you.
Yeah.
100%.
Not that you need
So
to
my
have it right, but you need to have standards about who can give you information.
Yes.
So,
so
ladies,
my
if y'all need
question is,
relationship,
okay.
I was just gonna say, ladies, if y'all out there listening and you need relationship advice, send a DM to the Eavesdrop on Instagram, and we will take care of you in our
We
safe
got
space right
you,
here.
boo.
We
We
will
got
be your Kevin
you.
Samuels.
Yes. But my question is though, because I thought about this question when we talked about it, and I do agree with you with what you ladies are saying. Like I think it's one thing to give women like your not advice, but give women like your opinion on what you like or what men like, and to just kind of give us, run through, because it's good to hear it from a male perspective. But it's another thing to just be like, oh, you need to lose weight in order to get a man. You need to do this and that and the other. Where do you guys stand on just getting not advice, but opinions from men? Like
About what?
opinions about, what they want in a relationship, or what they like in a relationship, because I think it's good to get it from the horse's mouth, because we can think all day, what men want and what they need, but we're thinking about that from a woman's standpoint. Isn't it good to hear it from a male's point of view, or am I just being a devil advocate at this point?
Somebody who's certified. I mean, I don't know when Al Gore's internet became the space that allowed these men to build a brand off of tearing down women, and they have no certificate or degree to show for it.
At all.
You self-appointed because of what?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because of who? Show me the proof. Have you been married for 37 years? Are you happy in your marriage? Is your wife happy? Look at Derek Jackson.
Now let me tell you something. What I will listen to is you tell me how you got your divorce started, baby. You tell me how you scoped out the best lawyer for this divorce. You tell me about how you tried married life and it didn't work with one person because of your own things. Talk about those things for me. But no, I'm not in agreement. I don't feel like people should just be sharing their opinions and spewing them as facts for women to lead their lives in this way. It's funny. I watched I don't even know her name, but I think of her. She's like of Spanish descent. She was under that Love and Hip Hop franchise. I think it's something with a B. Anyway, she was on a Hot 97 Angela Yee interview when she was talking about her getting her body done and how she did it for herself. Honey, you have built your self-esteem now, because she said when she was younger she didn't have a body and she was very conscious of it. But when she went to the plastic surgeon, she had an idea of exactly how she wanted to sculpt herself. And she wanted to put her body on display. And so they were asking her, Angela Yee, she said to her, oh, well, did you start out like with the plastic surgeon because you did get your butt done first? She was like, oh yeah, I think I remember going to the basement. Yeah, which basement, honey? Tell us the whole story. If you're going to tell partial, I'm not interested, because it's no longer true. Because you have so many women looking up to other people to give them this validation.
Exactly. And I think you can give great relationship advice without being insulting to women. Kevin Samuels, like Pastor Teray Roberts gives great advice, and he wrote a really good book called Wholesome. And it's been a really good resource for, women who, are looking for that kind of support. Like Michael Todd wrote a good book about relationship goals. And he's another good person who can give relationship advice without tearing someone down at the same time. Like, you can be someone who has experience in relationships and can give great advice to women, but I will never support a man who will tear down another woman for any type of gain. I think it's disgusting. I think it's horrible for the culture. And again, something we didn't ask for, but here you are.
Yep. And I ain't listening.
And
Lex, we can't hear you.
She going off too.
Get it, Lex.
We can't hear
Get it, Lex. We can't hear you.
Janessa said, I'm divorced, but I just want to tell my testimony to help, but not as the guide.
Mm-hmm.
And then look at your husband on this podcast.
Hey, cuz.
Well, look, y'all ready to get into some corks and toast?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. This portion of the show is called Make a Toast or Put a Cork in It, where we chat about, things that are happening in the news and decide if we're going to celebrate it and make a toast for, what they've done, or if we're going to put a cork in it because it's a no for us. Now, I don't see all y'all sipping already. So, ladies, what are y'all drinking this evening?
Well, I have my signature half tea, half lemonade frozen cocktail.
Again, Nalita.
Shalonna.
She loves some frozen cocktails. Go ahead, Nalita.
Where your glass at?
I know. I ain't got no more.
Well, what were you sipping on, sis?
Oh my gosh. So I bought this from Publix just because the bottle was really pretty. And it's a rosé, and it's Sunseeker rosé wine. And it's really good. It's very, very good. And I'm almost actually done with it because I actually started early. I ain't do all this in one day. I started Sunday. Okay. Because my nerves bad right now. I might finish this whole thing.
Well, we've got my use. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Black Girl Magic Rosé from the McBride sisters. It's so good. It's not too sweet, but it's not too bitter either. It's chef's kiss. It's perfect. I love it. Lexus, you okay over there?
Okay. Do you have sound?
Can you hear us? Mic check.
I think she's still trying to figure out her sound.
Okay. Well, let's jump to the first story because I thought this was quite interesting. Y'all know our boy Dietrich Haddon, right? A couple weeks ago, he took to his Instagram and he shared some thoughts that the Saints might find a little controversial. He said, and I quote, "Don't be a dummy and throw good friendships and potential business away over some vagina that you're not even gonna want after you done bust a few nuts. Get wise and choose brotherhood and business over the P word. You can get sex anywhere, but you can't get a brother back once you've crossed the line." End quote. Now, he has since closed the comment section on that post because they were on fire. That comment section was lighting up like a praise break on First Sunday. But when it was originally posted, he said that this wasn't geared toward anyone in particular. He wasn't throwing shade toward anyone specific, but it was just something on his heart to share with, his audience. Meanwhile, a couple people didn't even tag his wife to be like, "Girl, is his account getting spammed? Is this a troll or is this him?" And it even caught her off guard. So I think we can all agree that he made a good point. We don't put random sex over the relationship of a brother or sister. But do we toast to this man of God and his raw, unfiltered message? Or do we put a cork in it because he should have delivered that with a little more tact? What y'all think?
Now, sis,
Go
he
ahead
did
and
not only say that it was on his heart. He said the Lord gave him a word for the day.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Because you know what? Some people, now not listening to God. God be talking and y'all don't listen. So, but you're gonna listen to the pastor, right? So he just had to break it down for you in layman terms that you understand. Let me tell y'all something. Now, y'all know I'm a church girl, grew up in the church, my mama a pastor, all that, right?
Gonna give us the backstory.
I'm gonna tell y'all, Diedrich Hatton married Dominique, and when he married his wife, it was very controversial. His father, who was a bishop and stuff, was against the type of woman that she was because she had a background, right? Now, a background though in the hood. So she wasn't like completely cultured. Listen, he loved that woman. He stood by that woman. He took a stand. He went on a reality TV show. Shalonna, do you remember the TV show? Because we used to
the
watch
Preachers. The Preachers. I think it was him. Yeah.
Reverend O'Brien, he was on that thing too.
And I think Joel, Bishop Joel Knowles. Yeah.
Look at you, Bishop Noel Jones. Listen.
Noel Jones, yeah.
Now, so in that show, he introduced his wife. Like, they got engaged, everything, and he told the story and he stood by her. Took a break from his music and everything. Love was very important to him. Finding a wife was very important to him. Starting a family. So his kids are really young, you know? And I feel like it's so important for the church to really give real messages to the women. Now, as y'all know, my boyfriend is Muslim. He constantly tells me this story about how they talk about finding a Christian woman. It's always good to find a woman in the church. It's a whole bunch of women. They pretty and they thirsty. First of all, we not thirsty. But, you know, they are, you know, a little, I don't know, how do you say this? They have a sexual appetite, right? But it's always on the low. And I feel like with Pastor Diedrich Hatton making this statement, it was something to bring light on a lot of the things that happen within the church community. We all know that the musicians, what y'all know about church musicians? Come on now. What y'all know about them? What y'all know about them? Good looking, always whispering in women's ear, multiple women ear, always having, you know, just that whole idea of a womanizer. So I think it's important for him to make this real statement. Now, of course, it was candid. And, you know, he did use the word, you know, with the P. And, of course, people were clutching their pearls like, oh, my God. But it needed to be said.
Yeah.
I think. So I'm toasting to Pastor Hack. Okay?
He gets a cork from me. I'll just say, okay, because first of all, he posted the post on a Sunday morning, where he should have been preaching or something on somebody's pulpit or somebody live stream. He should have been preaching, but he was posting this stuff on a Sunday during the Lord's Day. So, you know, it was meant for somebody and it was personal. And I feel like I get, you know, I don't like it when people post different posts on social media and they have all these subliminal messages. Just go to the person directly and let them know how you feel about what was done. So he really gets a court from me for cowardly behavior, you know, if you will.
Okay, Miss Lucky, but
cowardly behavior. Approach.
You have a good point. But what makes you think he didn't hit his homeboy up early Sunday morning and send a text message like, yo, what's up?
And then if he did we all need to know about it though?
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of where I and Janessa said, well, they ratchet. Yeah, talking about the musicians. Yeah. But that was ratchet behavior. That was ghetto, if you ask me. I think the most mature thing to do would have been, hey, I got a problem with what you did, you know, and just, you know, keep it moving. Why we all got to know about that? And why do I have to be disturbed Sunday morning?
Yeah.
Why do I need to be disturbed like that?
Because you sent that screenshot to the group text about 8:30 in the morning.
Right. It disturbed my spirit. I was clutching my pearls.
And he told you, sis, if you're disturbed about this message, keep scrolling. He's going to post some more religious tomorrow.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And I love
So clearly, that message was not for Shalonna.
It wasn't.
Shalonna said, that shoe don't fit me.
Not at all.
You know, I'm going to have to court him just because, like you say, growing up in the church, knowing how important this is, another instance of his platform being used in more of a, I mean, it makes it seem more negative. I can't approve the message because, I mean, it's a generally good message. Just the delivery and how it was said makes people outside looking in and say, okay, well, if they doing this in the church and talking like this in the church, then what I need to come in there for? So as a head of a congregation, you have to be doubly careful of what you're doing or what you're saying because of how it can affect someone else's spirit and affect their walk with the Lord. I believe in transparency, and that's what Alexis is kind of getting at, because she's always talking about how these women aren't talking about how they got these men and stuff. But this segues into my favorite song kind of growing up. Now, I belted out as a youth. Come on, Diedrich Haddon. I'm so glad that God still
Say, Nalita,
a sinner's prayer.
That's right.
I'm so glad that God still hears a sinner's prayer.
I could have been dead.
Could have been dead. Sleeping in my
Come on now.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, he knows. I believe he knows the Father. I just wish he had delivered the message in a better way.
He knows the Father.
He knows.
I'm all for free speech. I am all for freedom of speech and freedom of expression. But you can't sit up here and tell me that the Lord gave you that message. That the Lord was not in that. He wasn't. No. So I'm toasting to the message, but I'm gonna have to call him down to the altar for that delivery, because we need to have a talk. About that delivery on Instagram on Sunday morning. I'm not here for, and this is coming from a PK. Also, my pastor would never, and then he even said some, Dr. Dewey Smith said some controversial stuff, but he will never get on Beyonce's internet talking about wanting some punani over a business deal or, breaking bread with your brethren. And it's just like, there's a way to get a message across to saints, but I feel like this was just a reach for attention that, again, we didn't ask for on Sunday morning. So I'll toast to the message, but I'm gonna have to pass you the communion plate for that delivery, because it was foul.
Yeah, it was. Because I don't like the derogatory terms for the female organs. Like I don't like that. I like the names that they're supposed to have. I have been given. Yeah. Especially coming from men. I don't like hearing that.
I don't like it. I wish my doctor would come into the examination room. So about so, all right, open up. Let me see this punani. What you got going on? No. There's a time and place for that. And Instagram on Sunday morning was not the time or place for that foolishness.
It wasn't. It was not.
No. So 2 quarts, 1 toast, and I'm just gonna pass him communion.
So in the audience, if you agree with something, just hit the emoji with the wine glass. If you disagree with it, put your thumbs down. So we want to know how you feel about each story as well, too.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. All right, this one might ruffle a little feathers, but I really wanted to talk about it. So Jay-Z and Will Smith invest in a startup that will help low-income renters become home buyers. So rapper and venture capitalist Jay-Z and Will Smith are investing in a business startup that will help low-income renters get into a home through a new rent-to-own program. On the surface, this feels like a great opportunity to help families become homeowners, but our good friend, Dr. Queen Nicole Hannah Jones, who we love and adore over here on the Eavesdrop, she had some justified criticism about the whole ordeal. Now, Hannah Jones has called foul play, noting the flaw in the business model that said that this could leave homeowners out on the street if they can't purchase the home within 2 years. So apparently, through this startup company that Jay-Z and Will Smith are investing in, it gives like low-income families an opportunity to rent a home for 2 years, and after 2 years, you have to buy the home. But if you don't buy the home in 2 years, you're just kind of SOL. And according to the startup, according to their policy, if a client is not ready to buy the home after 2 years, they might be offered more time, or the company might sell the property. So it's not a guarantee that if you need more time, you can stay in that home. It's not guaranteed. The company also charges a fee to participate in this program. We don't know if that fee is tacked onto the monthly rent or if it goes toward your down payment at the end of your 2-year period, but there is a fee to participate in the program. So considering the over-competitive housing market right now, knowing that people are putting in offers for homes at an upwards of like $50,000 over asking price, do we celebrate Jay-Z and Will Smith for lending a hand in helping low-income families into home ownership? Like, this is a really big deal because home ownership is one way to create wealth and generational wealth. But at the same time, are we putting a cork in this because rent-to-own programs can feel predatory in some ways? They don't always support low-income families the way that they say they really do. And, some people say that just because you buy a house doesn't guarantee wealth for you. So, there are a lot of critics that are saying this isn't really a good idea for the Black community. It's not going to help as much as we say it does. Or are we celebrating the fact that two millionaires and billionaires, two Black rappers, are doing something for the community? So what do y'all think?
So I actually went to the Landis website and I read all about their facts and crap. Apparently, they buy the house, like you sit down together or you pick out this house. They keep saying dream house. I don't like the term dream home because it may not be your dream home. It may be just a starter home you want to pick. But then you say dream home and people latch onto that, feeling like getting something that is not really a reality. So first of all, they talk about you sit with them, they buy the house and you rent until you can afford it. They say that you have 1 to 2 years where they give you tools and resources. They don't say what these tools and resources are. And then that helps you be able to afford the mortgage. But in my opinion, where are they getting the money? Where are the people supposed to be getting the money to pay this mortgage? Like, if they're low income, is the rent low enough that they can save? Because they're talking about they're helping them to improve their credit score. They're trying to increase and improve financial literacy. And I'm all for that. So I can toast to the idea of helping improve and teach families about financial literacy, because I didn't understand that going into buying our first home. But the website just does not give you enough information. It kind of skirts around the different issues. but just it sells you a dream without telling you how they're going to follow through. So I just need some testimonials. I need someone who's been in this program to step forward and say, how has this really benefited you? And not somebody that's just a yes, ma'am. You weren't really considered low income. You maybe medium, because they look at your background and they decide before they accept you if you are someone who they feel can actually be able to save this money and stuff. So they're already looking at you. And if it really doesn't feel like they're out there to help the lower income. So I'm gonna sit back and find out some more information before I offer them the full toast.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Go ahead. You want to go?
No, go ahead, Alexis.
I was just gonna say, Nalita, thank you for sharing some background knowledge, because I just want to put a cork in that for two reasons. Celebrities, y'all know I'm with the opposite, but celebrities, I feel like they prey on regular people, and in doing so, people that are signing up for this program are fans of these celebrities. To even say, oh, I want to be able to meet Jay-Z or Will Smith, or are they going to be at the orientation? Or it's a problem for me. It sounds very problematic. First of all, low income, what is your dream home? And trust me, whatever your dream home is, you cannot afford it on your current salary. So to even that possibility.
Why you should they do it there like that?
No, but I mean, let's think about this. Even offer somebody that opportunity to say, oh, let's go look at your dream home. Baby, their dream home could be $6 million.
Right.
So we all know that if it's a situation where they're renting, if it's not based on income, you can't afford that. That's out of your league. And if this is financial literacy, we need to talk about dream home versus reality.
Yes,
and what
ma'am.
can you really do? How can we help you? How can you save in order to get to this? Because the reality of the situation too with saving up for homes is that you need to save. But if you're still paying rent, how can you save?
Yes.
So if it's not a program where you are kind of like opted out of paying rent, with the exception that you're saving to put a down payment on this purchase of a home, it's problematic for me. It's a setup for failure. And I have a greater issue with the fact of us trying to come back to the communities that we know nothing about now, because you're completely in a whole different tax bracket. You don't understand the daily lives that these people lead. You guys both get a court. Will Smith, you crazy. Your family is weird. It's too much.
Almost close, Lord.
Oh my God. So, I see where the flaws are. And I think that I'm going to I'm a toast, because I think the initiative is great. Going back to where we were talking about the baby and using your platform to kind of better your community. And I think, like, in my opinion, I think that that's what they're trying to do. Where they fail at is not connecting with people who really know the community, who know what the needs are of the community. Because while you live in Liberace, you're up there in millionaire status, so you really don't know what's going down here with those who don't have homes, who do not have ownership. So you really don't know. So I think that yes, the initiative is great, but you need to collaborate with people to kind of figure out where the needs are, and just try to build from that. I know we love Dr. Hannah Jones, and she's my girl. She'll always be my girl forever. But I also I toast them, but I put a cork in her as well too, because instead of like joining forces with them or asking, can I give you my opinion on things, can I give you better insight on how you can make this better? She publicly criticized them, for their efforts. And, I really think that, there are not enough people in those statuses that are trying to help us, that are trying, well, I won't say us, because I don't put myself in that category, but trying to help others, people who are in the community, because I don't need help from them. I'm just saying. But, you know, I'm just saying. But I just feel like, you know, it's the drinks too. Y'all don't forgive me. But I'm just saying, like, I don't, you know, I think that, you know, they just need to join forces. And I think instead of criticizing them, instead of like posting things, just join forces with them. Hey, can I give you an opinion? Can I give you tips on how to make this better and actually work for the community? Because their intentions might be great, honorable. You know, but they just don't know where to start with this. So.
I think that Landis needs some help in their marketing department, and they can call me. Reach out to me at heysouthernbelle.com, over to the contact page. Get in touch with me and I will help you with your marketing, because I feel like the way this program is marketed can feel a bit over-promising to low-income families. Like to Alexis's point, I can help you with that messaging. Hit me up. I got y'all. I love the intention behind this, because what I'm not about to do over here in Atlanta, Georgia, is put up a few $1 million to help other people get into homes. I ain't got it, so I'm not going to knock someone who does. But at the same time, I want to be very clear on my stance that home ownership is not the gateway out of poverty. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the messaging that is shared, you know, through programs like this, through these like rent to own programs. I think rent to own could be a great solution for some. And I think the work that Will Smith and Jay-Z are doing to invest in this startup, it can be beneficial to some low-income families. I don't think it's complete garbage, but I really encourage them to look at not just credit repair, because credit repair is not the gateway out of poverty either. It takes a lot of financial literacy. It takes understanding your psychology behind money, your own behaviors about how you manage money, your emotional connection to money, teaching you how to invest, teaching you how to have conversations about money with your family, how to set expectations and budget. And there's so many other things that go into eliminating, you know, poverty or generational poverty even. And home ownership is not that solution. So I hope that in providing homes or providing an opportunity for low-income families to, you know, become homeowners, I hope that there's a lot more education and investing in people that goes along into it. Now, I will say, Jay-Z has a very strong track record for doing things in the Black community, you know, him and my sister, Beyonce. So I can trust that if they put their hands on it, something good is going to come out of it, because they ain't about to invest in no mess. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to toast to what they're doing in hopes that they do right by us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a toast with a leap of faith. Mm-hmm. So drop, if you're listening, drop in the comments, give us a wine glass or a thumbs down for Jay-Z and Will Smith investing in this home ownership startup. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this next
I'm still
one?
cracking at Alexis talking about Will Smith and his family, girl.
You just be showing out.
I'm trying to figure out how I can incorporate a hood booger into this next story. So,
oh Jesus, not a hood booger.
So look, Alexa, play "End of the Road" by Boys to Men. I'm just playing. Alexa, stop. I'm just playing. Alexa, stop. So this Tennessee woman explained on TikTok how her husband of 18 years cleaned out their home and left her while she was on a work trip. Oh, Lord. Lord, guard my heart. Guard my heart. Because I'm not laughing at this woman's downfall. But after a week in Las Vegas for a work convention, Portia Rosman returned to the Tennessee home that she shared with her husband, only to find out that the place was nearly cleaned out. Portia shared her experience with her TikTok followers and then watched the video blow up overnight. She spoke to the Shade Room, my personal favorite news source, by the way. She spoke to the Shade Room and said that she has not heard from her husband since she found out that he blocked her number as well as her social media pages. He left no letter, no explanation, and she was racking her brain trying to figure out why he would do this to her, especially considering that things seemed fine before she left for her trip. She said, I got home, I opened that door, and I screamed so loud, I'm sure my neighbors heard me. She said, I cried my entire apartment. Everything was gone. Portia, who is a newly certified self love coach, explained that her marriage had its issues like any other, but she didn't believe he was justified in leaving her in the way that he did. She said that they previously discussed separating like a while back because she claims that her husband was not comfortable with her pursuing her entrepreneurial dreams. She says that he gave her an ultimatum in regard to choosing her passion and living separately or choosing their marriage. But she said there really wasn't a discussion or a plan to end things. She also said that before she left for the trip, he was really sweet. He claimed that he was romancing her, and they even slept together the night before her trip. She said the plan was to come back and eat some crab legs. There was nothing in my mind that told me that this was going to happen. Nothing at all. But the thing that got me was that her brother-in-law, her husband's brother, picked her up from the airport. When she got home and found her apartment completely empty, she later found out that that same brother-in-law helped her husband move the stuff out the apartment. So, Portia, she gave us a hint into why her husband left. She said that he gave her an ultimatum at one point, choose him or choose the hustle, because he wasn't here for both. And she clearly chose the hustle. She went to Las Vegas for, her, I think it was I think she's a paparazzi MLM, pyramid.
The $5 jewelry.
I think she does paparazzi because in her TikTok video, she had like a wall full of like costume jewelry. So I think she was at a paparazzi convention in Las Vegas and she's starting this new, business as a certified self-love coach. I'm not sure what that means, but anyway, she chose entrepreneurship clearly. And, her husband made it clear that it's either me or your hustle. And she chose hustle. So was he really wrong for leaving? It sounds like she made her decision and he made his too. But what y'all think about that empty house?
We finna throw a cork.
Did you say empty house?
Man.
I'm a little torn, because I guess I'm a feminist and I think that, women should really, and not just women, just everybody in general should really go for their dreams and their goals. But when you are married, it's a whole different avenue to take, because now it's not just your dreams, it's not just your goals, you have to share that with someone. So it kind of gets a little sticky at agreeing with the husband or even her in that matter. But I think that it's, that really goes into why we need to be quote unquote equally yoked with our partner. And we have a running joke on this show about Method Man and Wendy Williams being equally yoked. If you want to know more about that, just definitely tune in to one of the episodes on the wind down. But while we're joking, it really is a serious thing. And when we talk about, being equally yoked, we look at it mostly from a religious aspect, being of the same religion and having the same level of, I guess, reverence for God. We look at that as being equally yoked. But it's not just a religious aspect. We have to be equally yoked financially, physically, spiritually, mentally, and with our goals in mind, and the list can go on, about the things that we need to be equally yoked about. And clearly, we have, in this situation, they were not equally yoked as far as the vision for their life. So I don't know if there was really a conversation beforehand, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. There are conferences involved. But I think that there has to be an agreement, before someone decides, okay, well, I'm just going to quit my job and do entrepreneurship when y'all have bills to pay. So I don't know where I am, with that. I mean, I agree with her for sticking to what she really want to do in life, because she may end up being a millionaire from this, but I also kind of see where he is coming from, because, this is a marriage and we both did not agree on her decision to do this. But where I put a cork in is his reaction to it. You don't go clearing out your whole house and then have her come home to an empty home. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I have to say that I find it disrespectful, just how he left, and I think it's really important too to have a spiritual aspect of being married. Was God involved in this? Did you really pray about this? And was that really your intention to embarrass her? And at the same time, embarrass her like with her family and friends. To me, she took it to the next level by even posting this or, recording it, because I feel like that's the type of kind of time that we're in now, where everything needs to be posted on social media. Personally, if that happened, I mean, I don't think I would be able to handle
everybody
knowing my business, right? But I don't know if I'm toasting to the fact that what Shalonna was saying as far as being on the same page as your husband, to say, choosing or ultimatums. I don't think that that's a good thing. But at the same time, she knew what she was doing. If your husband, I'm sure this is not the first time that y'all had a disagreement or something where he told you, if you do this, I'm going to do this. Because, baby, the way he cleaned that thing out, he made appointments and it was scheduled. And yes, he did. Like you said, Caroline, he slept with her for the very last time.
Okay? He was
the night before. He really thought about it. And that's not a first time thing. That's not a first time thing.
And that's where I have the problem with, at least give her the ultimatum and let her know, if you go to this conference, you're going to come home, to whatever. I don't know if it should have really been a surprise.
He gave her the ultimatum. He said, it's me or this business.
But when did he say it?
Exactly. Was it before she left to Vegas? Did she go to Vegas?
Yes. Yeah, she went to Vegas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No. I mean, I can say that someone that I know sells paparazzi jewelry, and if she's watching, hi. Right? But I know that it takes up a lot of space in her house. A lot.
Y'all saw that wall in her house?
You have to constantly buy the material with the intention that your clients or your customers will be purchasing. Now, I will show y'all the Ziploc bag of jewelry that I have purchased from. Y'all want me to show it to you?
Go get the
Ziploc
receipt.
Bag.
Show us the receipt, sis.
Oh my God! You sent her off. You sent her off.
She went to go get it. Oh my God!
From Ivy Panther. Hey, Ivy Panther. She said, "Nah, she ain't tell the whole story."
I have a Ziploc bag full of jewelry that I have purchased. Listen, stuff falling out the back that I have purchased from her just in an effort to support all of this $5 jewelry. Okay. So that could be one of the reasons. That could be Somebody said I need to see the TikTok. That could be one of the reasons why, he wasn't invested in this, because it does take up space in your home. And it will take away alone time that you would have with your significant other as well, selling this jewelry. Because my friend, she's on Facebook Live every day.
Mm-hmm.
But that just shows you how much faith he had in her, though. I think that, entrepreneurship, you don't make it big, just like that. Rome wasn't really built in a day. It takes time and it takes a lot of effort. So at some point in the process, he agreed to it. I'm guessing he agreed
Maybe
to it.
with
And
a side eye.
Well,
Maybe
I guess
with a
clearly.
side eye.
Do we really think that he agreed to it? It could have been something where she came home and already signed up. Hey, babe, I'm doing this.
Ivy Panther said, not the $5 jewelry bag.
$5. Okay. She came home and said, baby, I want to do this. I signed up.
Well, you know that it was more that you don't know from the story, just from how messy his family was. You heard about the brother-in-law that picked up from...
And that's where I get confused. Like, can you imagine what was going through his head?
Right.
No, but you know what? I applaud the brother-in-law, because you got to know your place.
Oh my
Your
God.
place was to be of service and to help your family.
Ooh.
So he helped both sides.
He did.
He helped, all right.
It was not his place to run his trap.
You're right. My thing was the worst thing now, and I can't even laugh about this because Ivy Panther, be quiet. I gotta get it out. Because this girl said, Portia said she lost her mom, and she said that his mom, although being her mother-in-law, was very close to her, and she looked to her as a mother figure. And this woman had the audacity to say, you know that he would have did it too. I mean, you would have did it. So y'all was trying to basically competing to see who would do it first. And your mother figure, can you imagine someone that you look up to and admire? You probably go out to brunch and everything with this lady shopping. You bought her a fire gift for Mother's Day. And she's like, I support my baby because you was going to leave him first.
Like,
he beat you to the chase.
But you know what, Nalita, I want to be that mother.
I was trying not to laugh over the story because at the end of the day, a woman did lose her marriage and her husband through all this. Yes. I was trying not to cackle with y'all, but the brother was mad petty because, like, you picked this girl up from the airport. It's 2021. We don't do airport runs no more. Not with Uber.
But wait, Caroline,
not with Lyft.
Was he being petty, or was he trying to be a friend to both of them? Because clearly he probably had a close relationship with them both. And he felt like he was in the middle, because we've all been there. I know I have.
Oh, gosh.
So and like he don't know which way to go. He probably really wanted to say something to her, like, sis, when you go to the house, ain't nothing gonna be there. When you get there, he probably wanted to tell her. He probably wanted to tell her.
Did he help her get the luggage in the house? Like, he took off as soon as she got to the curb. Like,
he already knew. Like, Shalonna, if I help you pack up your apartment and get the hell out from your husband, I'm driving the getaway car at this point, and then I go to the airport to pick your husband up and take him to this empty house. That's mad petty.
It's
mad
petty. I don't know.
So the whole family, they get caught.
It was wrong for him to do that, but he probably was in a sticky situation where he's probably close to both of them. But if he's close to her, he could have said, something to her. Yeah,
we call her Ubers in 2021.
Right.
You ain't have no business picking her up from the airport, knowing full well you was gonna have to ride all the way back home with her, knowing what she was about to walk into. Right. That was mad petty, and it was intentional.
But you know what? I just want to say this. How do we know that the brother-in-law knew that a conversation wasn't had between the couple?
That's why I think, like what Ivy Panther said in the comments, homegirl ain't tell the whole story in that little TikTok video.
I do
She
feel
could
like,
have told the whole story.
I mean,
Yeah,
but he
because
took everything except for her costume jewelry.
yeah, he
Everything.
seems
The
to have
bed,
this
He
the
want,
paparazzi
mattress.
now.
You
He
can't
he
tell
wasn't
want
me
checking
that.
for
over.
that paparazzi now.
It was like, didn't it say they were married for like 17 years or so?
18 years.
Like
Yeah.
that is a long time. You ain't accumulate all that stuff by yourself. She ain't just quit a job.
He probably met somebody from Mary Kay who said, my business better than hers. You can slide on over here with me and leave
I
that
seriously
jewelry
doubt it.
alone.
Not
You
Mary
know,
Kay.
I'm putting a cork in. I'm putting a cork in the wife for choosing her business over her husband.
It was
Because, like,
18.
in all seriousness, if I want to start a business or a new venture or quit my job or something, it's going to be a conversation with my husband first before anything else. The hubby and I are going to talk about it. And if for some reason, and I look to him to lead this household. So if for some reason he doesn't see that this is going to be financially beneficial to us, I will trust him in that. And we'll either find an alternative or talk about a solution or figure out what I can do to feel fulfilled in a different way that still supports our home. Right. So I'm not just going to say, oh, babe, I'm about to start this business and quit my job
Right.
and we're going to have to figure it out. Like, no, I look to him as the head of our household to talk through this, collaborate on this, get his opinion, get his insight, get his support, and then we move forward together as a union. But it sounds like that didn't happen because he said, honey, it's this business or it's me. And she chose the business over her husband. So I'm putting a cork in her for that because I will never put a business over my husband, my helpmate. I would never. I'm putting a cork in the husband. I'm gonna throw a bottle at the husband because it was foul the way he left. It, we can kiki and ha ha about it, but that's foul at the end of the day because that is still a trauma that a Black woman had to experience, and that's a trauma that she has to, overcome eventually. So I'm not really here for the way he left and having his family participate in this petty party. Like it's cute to laugh at, but at the end of the day, that was foul. So I'm throwing a bottle at him. It was wrong.
Because
And
he had sex with her the day before, and you know that when you with your partner, you being intimate. Most times for women, it's a time when you're vulnerable, and so he had sex with her before. She had came back with the thoughts that they were going for crab legs after. So you know that conversation didn't just take place right before they left.
Exactly. She said she had no indication that something was wrong.
Now I do
at
believe
all.
that not at all because she told us, but I do believe that she didn't know it was gonna be like that.
Yeah, there was nothing to even have a conversation about because you can even hear like her surprise and her distraught in the TikTok when she's kind of like narrating and like walking through her whole house. Realizing that all her stuff is gone. Like he took everything out the closet except her wedding dress. So it was very intentional.
Yes.
It feels like a witch move, not with the W, with a B. It feels like a witch move on his part because it was so calculated, but you never sat her down to say, I'm about to leave. So I'm throwing a bottle at him, and I wish I could get the car that the brother-in-law picked her up with the airport from to run him over because he petty and foul too.
Yeah, it's a court for me. The whole situation.
It's a whole court.
Yeah.
But it just goes back to Shalonna's point about being equally yoked in the way that you communicate with your spouse, because it shouldn't have escalated to the point where he just packs up all his stuff and her stuff while she's away in Las Vegas, having big fun with the wretcheds. Out in Las
Come on,
Vegas.
Felicia Rashad.
it shouldn't have gotten to that point. So, if you're more equally yoked in the way you communicate with your husband, it wouldn't have gotten to that point. But I wish her healing. I wish her success in her businesses. And we're going to move on from that because this rosé kicking in.
Will be successful. We're going to speak that.
Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. I can't say her last name. Kunis. The way my list is set up, I can't get it out right. But Ashton Kutcher and his wife say that they don't believe in bathing their kids or themselves for that matter. So it looks like the Kutcher family is saving money on soap because Ashton Kutcher and his wife appeared on an episode of the Armchair Expert podcast with Dax Shepard. And I don't know how we got here, but the talk turned into bathing. And after Shepard told the co-host that using soap every day allegedly rids the body of natural oils, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis agreed and said that they only wash their vitals every day. So the host was stunned to be, in the daily full body wash minority. And she said, who raised you? Like, who taught you not to wash every day? And, Mila Kunis said, I didn't have hot water growing up as a child. So I didn't, shower very much anyway. And she said that I wasn't a parent that bathed my newborns either, like ever. So she said, Ashton Kutcher said, if you can see the dirt on them, then clean them. Otherwise, there's no point. And he went on to say that he does wash his armpits and his crotch every day, but nothing else. Like straight up whole bath, and that's it. That's all he does. And he said he has a tendency to throw his water on his face sometimes after a workout just to get the sauce out.
This is too much.
This is really too much. I'm telling you, it's too much. It is too much for me.
How have we reached the level of pandemic where we're talking about not bathing our children every day?
But you know what?
How did we get here?
They don't bathe themselves. It's
but
more
you know what?
than
I'm
just that.
glad that he told us this. Because guess what, Ashton? If I ever see you, baby, I don't want a picture. I do not want a picture. I don't want to stand next to you.
No.
Thank you for sharing.
I'm going to give you a bar of No.
Not only am I putting a cork in Ashton Kutcher and his wife, I'm calling DCF. Because first of all, I need you to bathe them children and I need you to bathe yourself. But there was a tweet that Auntie Dionne Warwick posted, and I want to share it really quick because she didn't mention any names, but I know she was talking about them. She said, it's wonderful. So many have supported Britney. I've just heard the news. Wonderful things can happen when we stand together, but not too close. Because I have just learned that some of you do not bathe.
Yes.
And I know she was talking about them.
Oh, she's so petty. It's so true.
Now, some of my
I know
friends
she was talking about them.
Listen, did y'all look in the comments?
Mm-hmm.
Ivy Panther said they have nothing else to talk about but bathing. Right.
Why? Like, we did not, literally no one. That's the name of this episode. The things we didn't ask for. Because no one was checking for their bathing routine. But like a few of my friends have come out of the woodwork. I won't name names, but they said that they have this quote unquote bath day where they just take baths like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or something like that. Some kind of like 3-day combination every week where all the dirt just compiles on their body, but they only take a bath like on bath day, and they do this with their kids. So you can't get too dirty outside. You can't do this. You can't do that because it's not bath day, and you don't take a bath until it's your designated bath day.
What
Are they
about
trying to save
menstruation?
water? Is that what that is?
No, they just say bathing for, you know how like you're not supposed to exfoliate every single day? You're supposed to exfoliate a few times a week. They treat bathing the same way.
I guess
Basically, they don't need a bathroom at their house. They don't need a shower or a tub.
I personally thought that everybody took a shower every day, sometimes twice. But like, you've been outside all day and then put that same body in the bed.
I'm waiting on my hot water to regenerate after Roy used it all for what? When my neighbor ain't taking a bath. I can have his hot water.
You know, I guess they're trying to say because, you know, it strips the skin of its natural oils and its natural minerals and yada, yada, yada. But that's what I thought lotion was for. You know, lotion. I think certain soaps come, you know, with the vitamin E, with whatever minerals, you know, our skin is supposed to have. Like I you know, and even with COVID running rampant, you know, I think we all should be bathing on a daily basis, honestly. You know, because when I come home from work, I take off my shoes. First thing I do, I jump in the shower. Like, what are you doing after work?
Disgusting.
What are you doing when you leave the set? You know, when you had an action scene or whatever type of scenes he you know does, you know, when he's working. What does he do after that? He just go and put on his bedclothes and just act like nothing happened. Like,
here's the water, sis.
in the
Splash
soap.
it on his face. He told you.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's just not for me.
No. I thought everyone took a bath and shower every day, at least once.
And I mean, the types of things that kids get into, I can only imagine the dirt and bacteria that they have just let grow in their home, in their toy box, on their clothes. Like, that's disgusting.
Right.
It is.
But because when you use this type of logic, I'm sorry, go ahead, Alexis.
No, that's it. I was just going to say it's disgusting again.
When you use this type of logic that you're not bathing until you visibly soil, I feel like it crosses over to the hand hygiene debate, and the reason that our COVID numbers are probably still so high. Because why would you wash your hands unless you can visibly see the dirt?
Exactly.
Like, it's so much build up. And I could see a little bit about maybe daily bathing of a newborn. You might can wash them down with a wipe between your bathing day. But if that baby have a blowout, you better submerge them in that freaking bathtub. Like, don't play. And Janessa said, sadly, someone used the same towel.
Yes. Nalita, I have to say, they probably have nannies. They're right. They don't wash the babies. Maybe the nannies wash them.
And they don't even know, sis. You
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And here's a prime example. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, you're not going to have a nanny from another ethnicity or culture not wash no baby because they all know how to wash a baby. So maybe they're just speaking from personal experience. Like, I don't really like to wash. Yeah, because she's already, Louisa already did it, honey.
Yeah. Yeah. And Ivy Panther said that they are lazy. And the reason why I highlight this comment, is because as I was doing my research on this article, I came across another article by saying like some people just don't want to do it because hygiene, if you do it the right way, it takes a while. You know, so yeah, I think it is a lazy move not to want to bathe and not to want to submerge yourself underwater. I find enjoyment in it, honestly. It's what gets me going like in the morning, and it's what calms me down at nighttime. But what I wanted to say was I just, it's just too much going on out there not to be getting in the water and bathing.
Janessa.
Honestly, it's just too much. Janessa said, how y'all rich and don't want to use basic items like soap? Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because this also comes down to if you don't wash your child until you see dirt, is that how you treat your pots and pans in the kitchen? Are you not washing dishes until you see visible food?
Ain't washing no
Yep.
dishes.
You already don't wash your chicken. This is why I'm anti-potluck. I'm not about to eat whatever's coming up out your kitchen because you don't wash your chicken, you don't wash your pots and pans, you don't wash your hands, you don't wash your body.
Right.
Just out here foul.
Yep.
Foul.
And this you can go, Shalonna.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like a prime example is, whenever I mean, as much as you bathe and as much as you scrub or whatever, like I don't know if anybody has worn like a white collar shirt. As much as you bathe, something is going to get on that shirt, whether it's a ring around the collar or whatever. And it doesn't matter, like every time you wear a shirt. So that just shows you, like, we collect dirt every single day. So why are you going to wait until it builds up before you bathe? Like, I don't get it.
And in this hot summer heat that's reaching indexes of 115 plus, you telling me I sweat in every place that can sweat. I might take 2 or 3 baths that day.
Yeah.
And you ain't even taking one. I can see when they say they may take a bath but don't wash the hair. But to do the opposite, I'm washing my hair, and I seen a post where it say I wash my hair, and the soap that just trickles down from my hair. That's all that we doing. I wash my hair and I get out.
Yeah, hygiene is important.
Nasty. I'm putting a cork in them, and I'm throwing a bar of Dr. Bronner's over to Ashley Cooper and his wife.
And Carol Daughters and Dial and Irish Spring and everything else.
Y'all don't even get Dove, because Dove ain't, y'all get bleach. Y'all don't get Dove, because Dove ain't even real soap. Y'all getting that Dr. Bronner's. Y'all getting that black castor oil soap.
Ivy Panther said, Nanny Grace is doing the right thing for the kids behind the parents'
Exactly.
backs.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Nanny Grace.
I wonder how many coworkers I have like this. Of course, because when you up in those bathrooms where you can see the people come out or you can hear them, I have heard of many coworker walk out, and I don't know how they caring for their patient or doing anything else because they walked out their bathroom and you a woman flushed the toilet and then you just walked out the door. I can't even touch the handle behind you. Lord.
There's a reason.
Listen,
There's
that
a reason.
happened to me this week, y'all. So I just so happened to be at the sink, occupying the sink. I was doing something, and I was occupying both sinks. So a coworker of mine, a lovely coworker, just said, "Oh, just let me reach over to you. I just need to rinse." I said, "I'm sorry, no. I said, let me remove the t-shirt from the sink, and you can utilize the entire sink and the soap." That was my comment to her. "Oh, I don't need to do it. I just need to get the tips." No, ma'am.
The hell you do?
I'm gonna need you to utilize the soap dispenser. And she looked at me like, I'm getting a directive in the bathroom. No, it's not a directive, honey. It's a reminder to use the soap.
Which one of y'all told that story about the bathroom being out of soap? Was it one of y'all?
I think it was Lex.
Me.
That was Alexis.
I keep having these encounters.
That was Alexis.
Don't eat from no potlucks. I'm telling you that much. When Thanksgiving come around, don't you be eating in them potlucks.
You don't have to ever worry, because the fact that she's like, I'm getting a directive in the bathroom. Don't chill with your sarcasm, okay?
And wash your hands, sis.
Right.
Right, and this is a public safety announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. There's a reason why black don't crack.
Exactly.
It's because we take a damn shower.
Oh no,
That's
she's
why.
black.
And we moisturize after.
Mm-hmm. After we use shea butter and coconut oil. Yep.
And I'll say this, my melanated skin folk have never had the reputation of smelling like wet dog. Because we shower daily. I'll just leave it at that. So we all put in the court in Ashton Kutcher and his family, and we just gonna throw them a bar of Dr. Bronner soap.
Want to jump on that train and tell us about how you don't bathe?
Mm-hmm. We're putting the cork in bath days too. You need to be in that shower every day. And wash your hands.
So now it seems we have finally come to the food for thought segment. And with our food for thought segment, it's one in which we hope that you take a morsel of the meal away. And it provides you with some extra oomph you need for this day, this week, or this month. For the live show, we are actually debuting something else. And it is called a hot take. So my hot take is that mayo is a top tier condiment. I put that ish on everything.
Okay.
Okay. Don't have mayo. I put that ish on everything. Okay.
All
So
right.
mine would be, and y'all, I tried to come up with a hot take, but I had trouble. So I would like to just leave you all with the vaccine is not a political issue, and this is not up for debate.
Okay. I guess I'm next, y'all. Listen, it was a struggle bugger for me too. And I guess I'm just gonna leave it at everything ain't for everybody. Literally, body, BODY. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So am I up? I have like 5 though. Can I or just pick one?
Come on with them.
Come through.
Okay. So I'm kind of with Shalonna here. If you choose to not get the COVID vaccine, not because you can't, but because you choose not to, if you choose not to get the COVID vaccine, you don't deserve to live your life as if you have the vaccine. Skinny women who try to amplify themselves in the body positivity movement are more detrimental to the movement than the men who prey on women to live out their fat fetishes. Whoopi Goldberg is not ugly. Society just told you that she is. She's one of the most beautiful Black women in Hollywood. Teachers deserve to be the most paid profession, even higher than politicians and athletes. And my last hot take, companies that scream diversity, but have an executive team full of white men and white women are more problematic than they think they are.
Okay.
Come on, Angela Rye, little sister. Come on now.
I'm glad you said every last one of them.
Yes. So those of you who are still with us, do you have any hot takes that you would like to leave us for this evening? Drop them in the comments. Hot take. Anybody? To give you time to think about it because it took me a while just to come up with my little hot take.
I told myself I wasn't going to drink this whole bottle tonight.
Right.
Y'all done sent me there. Y'all sent me there.
I know with all these topics. Oh my gosh. Listen, the first half of my glass was because of nerves. I was really, really, really nervous about this evening because this was our first wind down. I was in charge of production and taking charge of the episode this evening. So I was just really nervous about things because I'm not technical savvy at all. But I don't know why I was nervous, because I'm surrounded by some smart and some witty women that know what they're talking about. So I knew y'all had my back, and y'all did awesome tonight. And I just want to thank those who came out to listen to us this evening. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule, because I know all of us are busy doing things. This is a weeknight, and so you chose it to spend it with us, and I am forever grateful. Make sure that you check into the Eavesdrop Podcast every week. We are doing something new. We're talking about women's health, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So each week you'll get something new. Every last week of the month, on Tuesdays or either Mondays, we do a wind down episode like this. Maybe we'll do more episodes live, because this was really fun, y'all, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so I really enjoyed y'all. And make sure that you invite others. If you really enjoyed the show, bring others with you, so that way we can just kind of have more fun. The more the merrier, as the saying goes. So but thank you so much for joining in with us this evening. And this show is a wrap. Good night, everybody.
Bye y'all.
Bye.